Hi, I'm Josh McDonald.
And I'm Random Materi, and we are Hand Therapy Academy.
We are starting off our new year like everybody else, kind of looking forward to big things and kind of what's our big plan. Not really news resolutions, but like we wanted to share with you guys what we're planning to do for the next calendar year coming up.
Yeah, so we have a few things in store for our members. I think one of the big ones is the release of our new goniometer.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of it's our favorite goniometer. It's this little pocket goniometer that does a fantastic job for IP joints, thumb, supination, pronation. We're going to be including that for all of our existing members. So it should be going out mid first quarter. We're super excited about that. If you are thinking about being a member, that would be a great time to sign on ahead of time. Make sure you are included in that and get that sign up, get that included with your membership for all of our pro and CHT prep members. Looking forward to sending that out. That'll be a fun tool to add to your clinic.
Right. And the cool thing about this goniometer compared to like the metal one and or like the bigger plastic one is that you can measure terminal flexion of the DIP when they're in composite flexion, right? So a lot of times when we take DIP flexion measurements, people might ask them to do it in a hook, but that's not really standardized, right? So if you do a composite fist and measure the DIP, then it's more standardized.
It also has measurements down to the individual degree. It doesn't skip by fives and tens. It measures supination and pronation in a very intuitive way. And we'll include an instructional, a little link so that you can kind of see how to use all of it and get all the tips and tricks out of that. So that's our big one coming up. Another thing that we're releasing, like it will be out by the time this launches, but it's another big exciting thing we have is a self assessment tool for your readiness to take the CHT exam.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of questions and you rate yourself and then it will turn out a score and then that score kind of tells you it might help guide how long you will need to study for. Is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? Are you ready right now? So I think it'll be really helpful, but it relies on you to self-report.
And it'll give you a subcategory breakdown too, because we've grouped these questions. There's 168 topics to rate yourself on. And as you go through and answer all of these, when you get to the end, it gives you this breakdown by subcategory to say, I'm really not very confident in carpal kinematics, or I'm not very confident in whatever the topic subcategory is. Then you know a little bit more where to direct your efforts. It does take like the quick dash. It takes an honest self-assessment of where you're at, but we'll also give you a kind of an idea of, hey, if you score in this range, you're about 6 to 9 months out of hard study time. If you're at this range, maybe you're more looking at about a year. And it's not just what you know, but it's your confidence in what you know. Because if you walk in like, I know the information in clinic, but when someone asks me, I get nervous, that's a factor involved too.
Right. And that's not only for our members, that's available to anyone. So we encourage members, non-members, go to handtherapyacademy.com and check out the self-assessment.
Yeah, it's a very cool tool, and you can take it as CHT prep members. You can take as many times as you want. Don't spend too much time on it, but it gives you kind of a pre-test, post-test. I've been studying for 6 months. Where do I fall on this? And if you sign up for a membership, use the same email. You can look at your when you did it before you were a member and after. It'll save all that data, so you can kind of track your progress as you go. Our next thing that we're super excited about is we do this one every year, but we're getting much more comfortable, and we're refining our process. Is our splinting course that we do in the fall. Each time we've done it 2 or 3 times now, and it's just been a fun process, and everyone gets very excited about learning an entirely different way to splint using the stretch and tag method. So we're looking forward to doing that again in early November.
Yeah, so be on the lookout. We probably won't officially put it up until around the second quarter, but it'll be available. Put it on your radar that we have a splinting course. And it's a great time to be in Phoenix, right? The weather's beautiful. You can do a lot of hiking. Um, Great destination course.
And like always, we cover you'll make 13 splints in 2 days, and you'll get to see a couple other big ones during that same time frame. So you'll get to see us demo how to do them. So Munsters, radial gutters, every kind of major fracture and a neurosplint you can imagine, we're going to cover during that 2 days. So lots and lots of hands-on, direct one-on-one training as all part of that course. Another thing we've got coming on is kind of a reboot. Our very first course we did when we very first started all of this was flexor tendon. And it was the first thing that we thought, like, that's the thing that is the most confusing and intimidating. And so we wanted that to be our first course. But that was, gosh, like 4 years ago, I think. Things have changed, both the science and an understanding of things, and we want to add content to it. And how we do courses has changed. And so that one needs some refreshing. So we're hopefully going to be able to get that one released at some point during this year. We'll film it in a couple of months here and then release it. And that'll just be an extra add-on course that isn't going to take the spot of another course. We still have 3 other courses coming out during the year, but that'll be a fun one to kind of redo and see what's changed and add our newer approach to it. It'll be a fun one to redo.
Yeah, it will be. It was our first, so it'll be fun to give it an update.
It's a bit of like a time lapse for us to see what we looked like on video, how we did video, and we were a little younger back then. So it's kind of fun to see like, oh, that's what that's what our first try at this looked like, and so redoing that will be kind of an interesting experience for us to see what it will come out looking like this time.
Yeah, a little nostalgic.
Yeah. We do have a couple of other courses coming out this year. Look for those. We have one on Dupuytren's, we have one on carpal kinematics, and we have one on wound care for the hand therapist. So we'll talk about those a little bit more in the next podcast we do, but lots of other courses coming out, lots of other things going on. And as always, we're accumulating more evidence based treatment guidelines. So I don't believe we'll be able to release a new ebook, but we're continuing to add to our library of things that are available on the website, if you remember. And so those in the next 12 to 18 months, hopefully we can add another 50% more evidence based guidelines to that ebook.
Yeah, because right now we have a pretty significant ebook that we released about 6 months ago, and it's treatment protocols and guidelines. So if you're a new therapist, it's a really great resource. And then we're trying to constantly keep that updated as new publications come out and new resources come out.
So we have a bunch of stuff happening in the next year in 2024. And as always, Miranda, I'm sure will surprise me with something else she wants to tack on and at random, like, hey, why don't we do this too? And we'll scramble and get it done. But we enjoy getting new stuff out to you guys all the time. And so lots of big things coming this year. Keep an eye out for posts and emails about all of them. And if you are a member for that goniometer thing, we ask that you update your information. We'll be putting a post up on that too, but make sure all of your information is up to date so that we send those goniometers to the right people. But looking forward to seeing everyone post on how they're enjoying their new goniometer and how it all works.
All right, happy 2024, everyone.